Good morning. I'd like to thank the PRSI and Engage 2012 to invite me to Calcutta to speak at the Digital Summit. I'm a student of media and a student of digital media, and I'm a practitioner. So whatever I'm going to share is something that we try to practice, something that we see around us, and as an entrepreneur, I hope I'm able to leverage to create value. As Mr. Sarkar said that he's not a big fan of presentations, PowerPoint presentations, and I normally say that I do not make PowerPoint presentations because PowerPoint presentations are made by people who are neither powerful nor have a point of view. But since I was in Calcutta today, I made an exception. I have a small presentation. So I'd like to take you through the presentation. And some of the things that Mr. Sarkar said are very much applicable. The two things that he really said, which are a common thread that run across what I'm going to share is, one, today what matters is content and the brand. The form of distribution doesn't matter, whether it's a handheld device or whatever you may choose to use to access content really doesn't matter. Second is the fact that he talked about as tablets and their prices come down and as the cost of access comes down, really content consumption, audiences, and the advertising that gets onto the web will increase. And he talked about the advertising number on digital. The advertising number on digital, he talked about 1,000 crores, but it's not 1,000 crores. It's whatever estimates you take. If you take the Pitch Madison Advertising Outlook, which is what we do every year with Madison, we peg it at 1,600 crores, and the other numbers are between 2,000 to 2,500 crores. So if you take a pessimistic number, it is 1,600 crores, and if you take an optimistic number, it's 2,500 crores. So it's not 1,000 crores, it's more than 1,000 crores, and it's growing very fast. I have a small presentation. Can we cue the presentation? How many of you have a Facebook account? All of you? Right. And how many of you are on LinkedIn? Most of you. And how many of you have a Twitter? About 40%, 50%, right? So that's a lot. I see the people in the first row don't raise hands. Either they don't have one, or normally people who sit in the first row don't participate. Like me, they're busy on there doing their things, which is okay. So the point I'm trying to make is today, just to give you two statistics, we are about 145 million subscribers on the web. We are 95 million plus mobile subscribers. These are huge numbers, and it's growing. We were about 100 million in December. We are 145 million now. So you can imagine at the pace we are growing in terms of the internet population. Uh, can you just keep? This is a small AV I'd like to run. This is a video. This is a spoof that was prepared in 2008 when the mass media in the US started to slide down, and it is something that really tells you what's happening in the internet domain, in the advertising media domain. Though it's a American-centric content, but it is relevant to India. So can we play that? So first of all, I did not prepare it. I've used it many times. You can download on YouTube. It's called Madison Avenue Blues. That's the beauty about the web. Everything is free. The point I was trying to make it, this was done in 2008, and everybody's been talking about the device of mainstream media. In India, we're far from that. Just to tell you, Times of India did a profit of between 1100 to 1500 crores. I don't know the exact number, but maybe close to 1200, 1300 crores. Hindustan Times is profitable. Dainik Bhaskar, Dainik Jagran, the Hindi newspaper, did a profit of 190 crores. Could have done probably 270 crores if the rupee depreciation wouldn't have affected the paper price. So newspapers are still a very profitable business model in India. So this does not apply 100% in India, but there are enough points in that which apply to India. And we are moving in that direction. So that's why I showed it. Also, it wakes up most people. It gets them interested. It's the morning session. And, you know, this is an article I read about 2 years back. I was on a plane, I was reading, and while I carry an iPad and I do a lot of stuff on the iPad, I write my articles, sometimes on the iPad, sometimes on a piece of paper. So I'm really juggling between both the digital world and the physical world. But I had this magazine, and ironically, I was reading a physical copy of the magazine. And it talked about the future of reading. Because really, all of us consume content, and that's what, whether it's a content generated by your friends on Facebook, by your peers, it's user-generated content, or content that is done by specialist editorial platforms or domain experts. Really, we are consuming content. And really talked about the future of reading. And I must tell you, in 2010, December, in the Christmas season in the US, the sale of magazines in digital format surpassed the sale of magazines in the physical format. So the stand sales of magazines physically was about, if I remember the statistics right, was about 15% lower than the digital stand sales of magazines, newspaper. That's a very important number. That's a very important development, because that told you that a lot more people were consuming content digitally. And this was December 2010, where we are in June 2012. I'm sure these numbers have accentuated. And you know, again, there is a myth in India that, you know, young people are not reading newspapers. That's not true. I can tell you that's not true. But at the same time, as the speaker before me said, that we all are addicted to screens. You know, we might not be teenagers, but we are screenagers. Everything we do is on a screen, whether it's a phone screen or a tablet screen or a laptop screen or a PC screen. We're all screenagers. We're consuming content on screen. But in my little bit research, young people still enjoy print media. It's just that they use it in a different manner the way we used to. It is not their primary source of information. It is one of the sources of information that they have. They subscribe to RSS feeds, and most of the young people are digital natives. And the reason when I talk about the future of reading is that we all are in some way the lean forward generation. We are not the lean back generation. I know I'm in Calcutta and I won't talk of serendipity, but the fact is we all like to sit in a saloon. Even I go to a saloon, I know I have less hair, but read a magazine. The reason we like digital content is because we do not have to worry about anything. You can, it is sortable, searchable, shareable, you know, it has many characteristics which really help you share information in a manner that you can't do in a physical world. You don't have to cut the news. And these are very obvious things that I'm saying. But I'm saying this to make a point. The point I'm trying to make is, as we go along, more and more content will be consumed in digital format. And the newspapers will not be in the newspaper business. They will continue to be in the news business, and they will evolve. Television channels will continue to be in the business that they are in, but probably you will consume that content on a video channel, whether it's a YouTube or a specialized channel that brand has on the web. You will probably consume it on your mobile or your handheld device. But the fact is, you will consume a brand and content. So while we talk of user-generated content and earned media and paid media, really what matters is the fact that anything you can, it is sortable, searchable, shareable. It has many characteristics which really help you share information in a manner that you can't do in a physical world. You don't have to cut the need. And these are very obvious things that I'm saying. But I'm saying this to make a point. The point I'm trying to make is, as we go along, more and more content will be consumed in digital format, and the newspapers will not be in the newspaper business. They will continue to be in news business, and they will evolve. Television channels will continue to be in the business that they are in, but probably you will consume that content on a video channel, whether it's a YouTube or a specialized channel that brand has on the web. You will probably consume it on your mobile or your handheld device. But the fact is, you will consume a brand and content. So while we talk of user-generated content and earned media and paid media, really what matters is the fact that even in the internet era, the brands will continue. Branded content and brands will continue to rule. Content will continue to rule. In fact, in my view, branded content will have even more value. In so much cacophony, people will go to voices they trust, domain experts that they believe in, domain experts that are unbiased, that have a depth. So the digital media will only make sure that branded content gets accentuated. And I want to also share, I'll come to that, but I also wanted to share that, last 2-3 weeks have been a buzz about the Facebook IPO, and it raised $16 billion. And you know that after the IPO, really the stock got hammered, and a lot of people lost money. In fact, the money that Facebook raised was the money that people lost. But with $16 billion of cash lying with you, you're too big to fail. You will do something, you will sustain. And I want to share a statistic that Facebook commands about 13% of time spent on the internet in the US according to ComScore, and it is more than Google. And if you include YouTube, which is about 11%, or Yahoo, which is 7.9%, yet its 2011 ad revenue was only $3.1 billion, in line with what Yahoo made from advertising in 2011, and a fraction of what Google made, which was about $37 billion, more than $36 billion. And the point I'm trying to make is that really not necessarily the amount of time spent results into advertising dollars at the same time. There is a lag. The lag could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And the average time spent on Facebook is about 15 minutes, whereas the average time spent on Google is about 5 minutes. So maybe in some time Facebook will catch up. Nobody knows the time frame, whether it will be 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. But if we really look at Google, with 5 minutes of average time spent, does $36 billion of advertising revenue. Maybe Facebook in 2 years, 3 years, nobody knows the time frame. And really, I come from the advertising and media domain, and I will focus on that. Can we run it faster? Can you run it faster? Can you go to the Maven study? Also, just stop here. Also, if you look at one of the key statistics I wanted to share is, Mr. Jawad Sarkar said the advertising pie in India is 30,000 crores, which is roughly $6 billion. It is, as per Pitch Madison advertising outlook, it's about 28,000 crores. But really, we worked with Madison for the last year, which is the second largest media agency, to come up with this number. Digital advertising is 1,600 crores according to Pitch Madison advertising outlook, which is nothing. If you really look at America, the digital spends are much more than in India. They're between 18 to 20%. In UK, today, digital is the single largest medium of advertising. There are more than 33% of advertising comes to digital. In India, we are at about 0.38% of GDP being spent on advertising, whereas the world average is 0.8, and America is about 1.1. So really from both these numbers, percentage of advertising as per GDP, we are very low. As competition amongst brands increases, this number will go up, and within this, the digital advertising contribution will go up. I meet a lot of media owners, I meet a lot of digital agencies, and I can tell you media owners in the last quarter have had a tough time. But if you meet digital media owners, they are growing 100%, 200%. Yes, their bases are small, so 100% is not that huge if you look at absolute number. But the fact is more and more marketers are putting money in digital. And you know, we keep talking about mainstream media as a dinosaur. Just can you move fast? Now, if you look at what happens, just go back to this. If what happens in 60 seconds on the web, the amount of Flickr posts, the amount of Facebook posts, I mean, the amount of activity that is happening is humongous. I mean, I'm not talking about Instagram, I'm not talking about Pinterest, but just look at the number of things happening on the web in 60 seconds. It's just humongous. To be able to keep pace with that and to be able to leverage that for people to make decisions on various kind of things that they do in their life is very important. And what is happening is the direct consequence of this slide is something that we call FOBO or SOPO, which is find online, buy offline, search online, purchase offline. What is happening is today, whatever we do, and I'm not even talking of categories like automobiles, where you actually go out and check out the price, features, everything on the web. You might still go for a test drive. But in lots of other categories, you are not making the purchase online, but everything to do with the pre-purchase you are doing online. You are seeking information, you're comparing prices, you're comparing features, you are comparing user testimonials, you are seeking information that helps you make your decision. The purchase might have offline. So online from a marketer standpoint was never more important than today. And I'll show you some numbers. And really in this context, all of us as professionals need new skills, we need new expertise. Even me, who is an entrepreneur, I'm just amazed that I don't know enough. Every morning I wake up and I realize there's so much happening that I don't know. And I wanted to share a study. We can keep talking about, how brands which are on the net, which use social media are doing well. But there is actually a study that was done in the US about brands that have a deep and wide social media engagement. And I'm not going to talk to you about social media. You know the numbers. So really those are things but I wanted to share this study that companies in about 2010 spent about $2.1 billion on social media in terms of, I'm talking of marketers using social media to advertise their brands, to influence buying decisions. But in 2015, this number is going to go up to 8 billion just on social media. And just to give you a context, if you take the number of 1600 crores or 2000 crores or 20, whichever number, let's take 2000 crores as it's easy. Out of 2800 crores, 2000 crores is 7-8%. According to Pitch Madison, we are at 5%. Out of that 5%, less than 20%, which means less than 1% of the overall advertising pie is being spent in social media. So it's a very small number in that sense today. But worldwide, out of the digital spends, in 2015, we're talking of 8 billion. My hunch is it will be much more than 8 billion. With the way consumers are interacting with social media, how it has become an integral part of their lives, marketers' engagement with social media will go up. And I wanted to share a study. Again, one of the things before you go on to social media, you have to see what are people doing when they are on the web. And really social media is big there. They're doing multiple things. And again, this notion that they are not doing things what they used to do they're multitasking. They're doing a lot of things. So what they used to do in the physical world, they continue to do. But probably they've added on things that they multitask. Can you move on? Just move on. Yeah, this is a study I wanted to share. Uh, this is a study that was taken up in the US, and it basically says that the brands that engage with consumers on social media see an actual splurge in their sales vis-a-vis the brands that do not use social media in the manner these. And really, this study calls these brands which have a deep engagement and a wide engagement. When I say deep engagement, which means the the amount of money they spend, the ways they spend that money, and wide is the number of channels they use, so number of media they use in social media to reach out to them. And these were the top 100 brands of the world. So we are not talking of brands that do not understand consumer psyche, that do not understand the power of their own brand, and they wouldn't want to do something that would not work or damage their brand, because the brand equity is huge. And as you would know, that in most companies, Fortune top 100 companies, top 200 companies, 33% of the enterprise-wide valuation on the balance sheet is the brand as an average. I mean, there are certain companies. So to them, their brands are very important. So they define the companies that have large social media engagement, deep and wide, as mavens. And they believed that the mavens have, can you go to the next slide? Basically, mavens had, just go to the next one. Mavens had much better sales vis-a-vis everybody else on that chart. And it proved that if your brand is present in social media, it actually helps sales. And for a lot of these categories, these are not categories of brands or products that can be bought online. So these are not brands that you can transact online. But the buzz that these brands create while being on social media. And again, I'd like to make a distinction. Can you move forward? Just skip that. Go ahead. Just go one slide back. See, when we talk of social media, we know that there is paid media, which is advertising. There is owned media, which is your own site or something you might have built as a blog to popularize your brand. And there is earned media. And I'm sure I don't need to explain to this audience what is owned media, what is paid media, and what is owned media. Really, these brands, by focusing on social media, were able to increase their own media, their earned media clout, and they were able to influence buying decisions and create a positive. So their earned media, which is word of mouth in the traditional scenario, went up. Now, there's no study in India like that. But if we were to do a study like that in India, I'm not sure that the results would be any different. I mean, there might be local issues that might impact those results. And we are not there in terms of social media spend. As I said, less than 1% of the overall advertising spend goes to social media. It's changing. And Mr. Sarkar talked about tablets. And in June last year, about this time, I wrote an article, and December, ET wrote a similar article. And I said that really brands have been used to milking communities to build a buzz, to create word of mouth, to create earned media. But as the convergence in a true sense happens, and when I say convergence in a true sense, I wrote an article 5 years back saying telecom companies will invest in media companies. Telecom companies will buy media companies because the market capitalization of telcos was much bigger than media companies. And in the last 6 months, you've seen that Mr. Ambani has invested in Network 18 Media. The Aditya Vikram Birla Group has invested in India Today Group. And there are many such deals in the pipeline. And I said when Mr. Ambani comes in with his broadband license, he will probably import cheap tablets from Taiwan or China. He will make the broadband access free. And that will really kickstart the digital economy. Because I believe whenever Reliance gets into any business, they really want to be a game changer. They want to do it on a global scale. They want it to be something that really makes a difference to not only that domain, but touches multiple industries. And really, as professionals in the communication domain, we shouldn't look at digital as a digital. Uh, it's just another distribution medium. Beyond that, really there are nuances of digital, but we cannot look at digital in a silo. We cannot look at digital in isolation with what's happening in other related domains, whether it's telephony, whether it's media, whether it's retail. And most of the investments today are, marketers are ultimately interested in building communities and doing commerce to them. And I wrote in that article that really Mr. Ambani, with his physical retail space, with his broadband, and maybe investments into media in the future, will make sure that the lines between retail, media and telecom will blur. I think the biggest thing that digital and digital media will do is to make sure many industries in some way collapse into one single industry. This is what Steve Jobs did during his lifetime. He impacted, as has been very well documented, multiple industries. I think as digital professionals, we don't have to think just as digital professionals. We have to think how these changes are impacting multiple industries. I don't know what all industries you're from, but really my suggestion to all of you would be to look at what's happening in the social media domain, what's happening in the digital domain, and not just from a marketing advertising standpoint, but impact on life standpoint, because really that is what makes a case for business or really impacts business in ways that even I cannot imagine. Thank you, and I'm privileged to be here. Thanks once again.